You're tuned in to BTS, Between the Sermons at Northwood Christian Church, where we gather for conversations with each other, answer your questions, and open the curtains to who we are beyond Sunday mornings. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to BTS.
So I'm going to be talking like this the whole time. What's up, what's up? What's up? Wives in the house! All right, well, welcome to another session of Between the Sermons. As you can tell, we are probably the best looking staff, the people you've had up here. Yeah, for sure. Actually, we are not staff. That is probably obvious. We are wives of staff, of pastors here at Northwood, and so we are going to try and answer some questions that were sent in, and you can see how serious or unserious we are going to be. I don't know. It could be a variety, so you'll get to find out as we find it out. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves. So we're going to say who we are, what we do for a living, and then a memorable moment could be from being a pastor's wife or just church. Okay, so Val, you want to go first? Because you're on the Sure.
My name is Val, Valerie Blowing, either one. I'll go by whatever. You can call me Mom. Hey, I answer to all of them. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I do childcare, but only for one select family. So don't come to me with your childcare requests. I got my hands full. 4 is enough. And the most memorable, I have a few memorable moments from John's ministry and our ministry together, actually. And the first one is we started dating I was still in college, and he was working as the youth pastor in California, and so doing ministry together was like a huge, that starting off together, doing ministry together has been awesome. So that was one. I watched him graduate from seminary when he became a pastor, and also most recently in December he became ordained as a minister in the Disciples of Christ denomination. So that is like just, it was so cool. Such an awesome experience to be there and to watch that come full circle.
Has been awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Jesse.
Yes. I am Jesse Rasmussen. I'm married to Adam Rasmussen. Are you sure about that? And I am an EC analyst, so enterprise continuity analyst. I help my company create plans to recover from things like the pandemic or a tornado or, any business disruption is what I kind of work with. A memory for me. So I grew up in the church, and I am partial to the elderly. I love them. And I thought I had seen somebody that I knew, and I ran up and I just gave her the biggest hug I could, squeezed her, and she said, "Thank you. What's your name?" And I was just so terrified. So, just I guess that's my biggest memory from church, just getting to know people and I guess putting myself out there like
no
that.
Stranger danger.
Yes.
That sounds traumatic.
For Jesse or for the old lady?
Probably the old lady.
Yes, probably a little bit of both. So I am Michelle Lind. I'm Barry's wife. What do I do for a living? A lot. I actually work at Yolanda Elementary School here in Springfield, and I am a teacher on special assignment. So basically what that means is anything the school needs to have done, and there's not really a person slated for that job, then I get to do that. But specifically, it has to deal with behavior. And so if kids are in crisis or teachers need that extra help, then I am called in and I do intervention with them. And then sometimes when things are a little bit calmer, I'll do like social skills instruction, which is why Barry can so greatly talk about big problem, little problem, all of those kinds of things, because I use that a lot. And so therefore he hears it a lot. So there's that piece. And then also I like to write and do some other stuff like that. So that's what I do for a living. And then what is one of the most memorable moments I have? Okay, I actually just thought of one because I'm not going to talk about being a pastor's wife. This is being a pastor's kid. I'm a pastor's kid. So I remember being a part of an elderly church, and we would run around in the church basement. Our church was in the desert, and so we didn't actually meet in the sanctuary during the summer because it was too hot. And so we would run around, and I remember very clearly my dad saying, you kids need to stop running because you're going to knock someone over, right? Because there were fragile people. And we did stop, like we were obedient, but we didn't stay obedient very long, right? So we would, start running around again because we were always the last ones to leave. So I remember this one instance perfectly clear. We were running around. Dad told us to stop. We stopped. We started it again. Dad told us to stop. We were doing it probably a third time. Dad told us to stop. But this time he was like, you're going to get it when we get home. And like immediately like that killed all the joy, right? So when we got home, I do remember very clearly the three of us being lined up and Dad spanking each of us because we had been so careless or whatever. But okay, to take that just a little farther, it wasn't just that we got a spanking, but I'm the middle child. And so my brother watched my sister start crying before she got her spanking, right? Because she was the baby, and that's what babies sometimes do. And then Dad came to me.
I was going to say, watch out here,
sorry.
2 babies.
Sorry if you took offense to that. So my brother leans over and he's like, Shell, if you don't cry, it won't hurt so much. Like Dad won't hit you so hard. And that seemed like really good logic. I'd never heard it before. And so I actually tried that. And because I was the second one. And what I found is that when you don't cry, you get hit a second time. Right. And then my brother's like, that didn't work. And he started crying before Dad hit him. So he just got the one. But note to self, like we didn't do that again. Like I have that good memory or bad memory.
Yeah.
It's kind of a traumatic, but like life-changing memory. I don't run around in church. So yeah. Anyway. Okay.
And don't come to our church in California because we used to play over-under in the pews.
And that would have been spankings for sure. I'm just saying. Okay. So I have another question for us. This, I think it comes from Emily, right? Okay. So it's actually a 2-parter, and I'm going to ask it specifically as close as I can to what she sent in. Okay, so what do your husbands do that make you pray for patience and grace? Not that they would, but if they did. And then what do they do that is so thoughtful that makes up for it? So first of all, what do they do that makes you pray for patience and grace? And then what do they do that's so thoughtful it makes up for it?
Do we answer honestly?
I think, is there any other way, Val?
Yes. Okay, I got to think for a second then. And somebody else.
Okay.
Jesse's got it. She's like, oh, I know this.
Yeah, I know. So, as you can tell from Adam's personality on the stage, he likes to joke, which is great. I love it. But it never stops. Like, he's never serious, ever. We just dropped our boys off at the airport, and they're going to be gone for a long time. And so maybe I cried a little bit. And Adam just laughed. He just laughed at me. He's like, why are you crying? You're going to see them again, But so, yes, it gets really annoying. But on the flip side, I appreciate that because it regrounds me. It brings me back into reality because I can get going in my emotions, sometimes. So there's that. But the thing that Adam does for me that you guys probably don't all know, I get nightly massages.
What?
And I feel like I got hosed. Bear.
Every night.
Did you hear that, John?
That is not okay. I mean, it's good for
It's
you.
great. It's great. I give him some in return, but I will say that it is a little bit skewed.
Okay, so you're
in
still
my favor.
winning, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Just because his back is so much bigger, it's more difficult for me to massage his back than it is for him to do mine. Like my back's the size of his hand, so. But yes, he does that for me. So I'm really spoiled in that way. Sorry, ladies.
I know. I don't have words for that. That makes me feel
Left out.
somewhat. Well, I don't.
Yeah, maybe not for
Back off.
I don't know about that business. That's awkward.
Okay.
But I'm glad for you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Val.
You were supposed to go next.
No, I don't go next.
Okay.
I can't. I always have to go last.
So one thing that John does that I love, and part of the reason I married him is that he loves to cook. Yeah, and he is great at it. And he leaves every dish in the sink or on the counters. He leaves all the cupboard doors open. Well, I was going to go back in there. Well, you're not. So close the door. You yell at our kids for leaving doors open, and then you leave them open. But if you're going to make dinner, like, I'm not going to complain. I'll just close the doors and I'll just do the dishes because your food is way better than anything I would make, like top ramen. I could still.
Do you cook a mean ramen?
Oh, no. I just put it in
Puts the
water. I
frozen
don't
peas
even
and
do anything
carrots in
to
it.
it.
That's making it really rich.
Okay, taquitos. Like, I have a college diet, so if I wasn't married to John, it would be bad
Ain't
news.
nothing wrong with a college diet.
No.
We call that cooking.
But John is super thoughtful. Like, he is the best card writer. He writes amazing notes in cards and is super thoughtful. And that way he gives great gifts. He remembers things that, like, I say a year ago, and then for a birthday or Christmas, that's what I get. Or, like, yeah. He's just a good gift giver and a good card writer. So if you ever get a card and it's from me, John might have written it and I signed it.
If it's especially meaningful. Like, oh, this is like a Hallmark moment.
I try so hard, but I just buy a card that says everything, and he buys a blank card and writes all in it. Yeah.
I went last because I thought that you guys might make it a little bit easier for me, and you didn't. So thank you for that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not sorry.
Okay, so what does he do that makes me pray for patience and grace? Okay, so this is like that double-edged sword, and this is really true. So I do know that I have it pretty good in that some women especially, but find themselves having to be responsible for all the housekeeping, right? Like, you're cleaning and like your guy's just expecting that that's kind of your job, and maybe mows the lawn or whatever, does outdoor work, but doesn't do much inside. My husband is like a little bit OCD.
I was going to say, he's kind of a neat freak.
Yeah, kind of take out the little. He's like a lot OCD. And so he's constantly, wanting everything clean. And I get it. Like, he tells me all the time, I can't relax if it's not clean. But like, we live there. So that's my logical argument. It's like, hey, we do live here.
Yes.
So sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's exceptionally bad. Like if someone's coming over or something like that, then he really wants it to look like, I guess,
like you don't live there.
Like we don't live there. Like we're showing our house, like we're moving or something, right? Like, and so those times I really do need patience and grace, because it's like, bite your tongue, woman, like be thankful that he's helping, right? And that he cares about it. Otherwise, it would be all on you, and there's no way I could do it all. So, so anyway, that's my pray for patience and grace. And then, what does he do that's so thoughtful that makes up for that?
He helps with it.
Well, yeah, he does help with it. That's so nice of you to pitch me that nice strike there. Well, yes, that's what I was thinking. No, actually, you know what he does that I think is pretty great? And, I've kind of started doing more of this myself, so that's my own fault. But he does cook a lot, too. He does do a lot of that, or has in the past, I should say. So that's kind of good. But then we tend to not be cooks. So it's been more recent that I've started actually, getting tired of the
Tacos.
Costco meals and taquitos. Yeah. So it's like, oh, what can we make that isn't taquitos? So yeah. Anyway, long rabbit hole here.
Got there.
Okay. How about this one? What is something that the church family may not know about you?
I got it.
Okay.
I know sign language. And a lot of people don't know that because I don't use it. That's why I went to California. I'm a Pacific Northwest girl, which a lot of you don't know either. I was born in Oregon, raised in Washington. I only went to California to get married. Just kidding. Not really. I went for school. I went to Cal State Northridge, and my major, I literally went there for a sign language interpreting degree. That's why I went to California. I took sign language in high school for 2 years as a foreign language after I had already taken Spanish, which I was no good at. And my teacher was like, hey, there's this school in California. You should go down there and major in deaf studies. And I did.
That's cool.
So, but don't ask me to use it.
Why?
It's one of those things. If you don't use it, you lose it. It's like any foreign language. I can have a conversation, sort of, but I could not interpret.
Oh.
So.
Jesse?
I don't really have anything. I'm kind of an open book, I guess. I don't know. I
There
guess
has to be
not many people
something.
really know me. Okay, yes, we moved here from the Midwest, but I too am a Northwest girl.
That's
I
right.
grew up in Drain and then Eugene. So back home.
So see, that's a fun fact.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah. You're like, hey, look at that fun fact.
So
I came up with on
exciting
the
about
fly.
me. Came up with that one.
And I'm not a Pacific Northwest girl. I'm Pacific Coast, Southern Cal, but that's not what I was going to share. So something that the church family may not know about me. Okay. So I grew up in a family that likes to have fun and be a little bit silly. That's probably shocking because I have no sense of humor. But
Lies.
yeah. But it's a weird sense of humor. But okay, anyway, that's neither here nor there. They're all weird. So my family has this thing where we have this way of saying everybody collects something, but you don't choose the collection chooses you.
Oh, no.
And so what a lot of our church family may not know is that I collect owls. Yeah. And not because I chose owls, but because owls chose me. And so
Wait,
now.
what?
Oh, yeah. So
I did not know that.
So there's this family decision. And so what happens is now, when I have a birthday or Christmas, I will inevitably get owl things. In fact, I have family right now on vacation, and they sent me this picture of a toilet cover and a thing that goes in front, like a mat that's been crocheted, that's owls. Thank you to my sister-in-law. She's like, I'm going to learn to crochet for Christmas.
Can she make two?
I know, because of Adam, huh?
Adam loves owls.
Yeah, but Adam probably chose owls.
Yes,
he did.
owls did not
Yeah,
choose Adam.
yeah.
Adam chose owls.
Yeah. So I could
Over and over again,
I
he
could
chooses
send
owls.
some your way if you want, because I have them at work. I have them at home. I mean,
Your whole office.
We don't want to
at-
take from
at
your
school is owls.
collection. It's important.
oh no, I'm happy to share.
No, really, it's
No,
okay.
really,
It's okay.
I am happy to share.
We need comparisons. Adam's owl collection to Michelle's owl collection.
I'm not gonna lie. I may have lost a few owls in the move.
Oh, sorry, fam.
Lost.
Lost. I don't know what happened to them. And don't talk about the garage sale. Okay, anyway, moving right along. Okay, so how has being a church spouse impacted you the most? Oof. Yeah, that one.
This one's hard. Being in ministry is hard. It's difficult, as you guys know. So there have been several times that we have been called to trust God, fully and completely scary, trust God.
Like moving across country.
Like moving across the country when you're 19, just doing the right thing and just knowing that when we seek to do the right thing, even when we make the wrong decision, because we're all human, we're all gonna make wrong decisions. But even though we do that, because we're seeking the right thing, God is gonna bless it. So no matter what, God can take that and turn it into good because it's sanctioned by Him. And so trusting Him has been my biggest lesson as a pastor's wife, because it requires a lot of trust in the
yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Okay.
I think another thing for me, kind of building on that, is that I feel at some points you're required to be on, if that makes sense. because John is up front and, well, not up front on Sunday mornings, but up front in front of youth or preaching or things, I feel like I have to be just as presentable, just as positive and outgoing and all of those things. And so it really makes me look at myself and how I'm living my life, not just on Sunday mornings at church or Wednesday nights with youth group or anything like that, but just like how I respond to things at the grocery store or how I respond to people in public or online even, like watching what I post because I don't want to shed light negatively on John or our family, how I parent, how people see me parent, those types of things. I feel like because we're in ministry, there's kind of this like view of you, like you have to have it all together and you have to be perfect. And we don't by any means, none of us do, but I feel like people expect a little bit more of us. And so just trying to live above reproach a lot is huge.
Mm-hmm. I agree with both of what you ladies have said. And I would say for me, the thing that it's not foreign to me because I grew up in this, but it's different when you're married to it, I think, than when you're a child of it, is like you said, you're always on. And it is remarkable how you even can't really have, there's not what I would consider to be private conversations. There's very small circle of trust where you can really let down and be transparent because we don't have it all together, or we may have something in our home that we're disagreeing about, or we're still trying to process or work through, and you don't know who you can trust necessarily. Like sometimes you think you do, and somebody may just not use the best judgment in the moment, and then something's out that you can't really take back. Yep. And so that's a little bit of a challenge. The other thing I would say is that it's not uncommon. I don't know about you guys, but when I go into work even, I'll be walking into a room and they'll be like, oh, the pastor's wife showed up. You got to change what you're saying. And I'm like, all right, like, okay, maybe you should change what you're saying. Yeah, right? I know, like, that's totally fine. But yeah, and oftentimes I think there's a little bit of humor behind that. But it's not all humor. And so there's a part where it's a different place to be. Yeah. That I don't know that a lot of people, unless you live it, I don't think you fully understand it. You can hear it, but I don't think you fully understand it. The amount of freedom people have to speak into your life that you're like, do we know you that well? Like, I don't know that I'm like, okay, thanks for giving me that tip on my life that you don't have this background information on. But
exactly.
Yeah, anyway, it's kind of crazy. Yep. So this is a fun one. And I don't know who put this one in. Maybe it was our spouses, maybe it wasn't. But how do you prioritize your marriage in a busy world?
You send your kids to Missouri.
Oh. Why didn't you offer that earlier?
Send your kids away. I mean, problem solved. No.
That would be nice.
Really, honestly, it's been a week and like, it's been kind of awesome, but I miss my kids a lot. Don't get me wrong, we have the daily calls, but it has been awesome to get that uninterrupted one-on-one time with Adam, because that just doesn't,
that doesn't happen with children.
Doesn't happen with children, and so yeah, that's been really nice. And then we also like to just walk around the neighborhood and check out just the houses and the yards and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
All right, honesty, here comes. We're in the middle of baseball season and pandemic and life. And I feel like, to be honest, our marriage has kind of been just, here, you go here with this kid and I'll go here with this kid. And, oh, wait, there's another child. What are we going to do with that one? Oh, they get drugged with us, So it's, to be honest, right now, we could do a better job of prioritizing time with just John and I. So if you will do free childcare, my number is, I mean, everyone's like, oh, you have so many high schoolers and middle schoolers that'll watch your kids for you. And I'm like, yeah, but they all expect to be paid. We're pastors. We don't get that much money. Yeah. Like, I mean, sorry, but.
Were you just keeping it real?
Yes.
That's so funny. I'm sorry that I'm laughing. It's not funny. Haha. It's like, oh yeah. Prioritize our marriage in a busy world. Well, I know what my spouse would say. We get away to Cabo once a year, and I would say that is fantastic. But once a year is kind of lame.
John and I are going to summer camp together without our kids. Does that count?
Well,
We're just taking 30 youth with us.
30 other children. Yeah. I'm going to tell you that wouldn't fill the bill for me.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think everybody could do a little bit better at this.
Absolutely.
I know we could. I think the biggest thing we need to do is slow down. And I don't think we're good at that. I know my spouse is not good at that. I am in the process every year about this time of slowing down. Give me 2 weeks and I'll be there. I'll be in slow-mo. But right now I'm not there. So I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this one? What is one common myth or assumption about you or your spouse that you want to debunk?
I'm not mean.
So are you saying John is? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
We are not mean.
Okay.
I'm just going to, you would be surprised at how many times people come up to me, friends of mine that I've had for years, and are like, I thought you were just horrible and so mean and angry all the time. And I'm like, why? I'm so nice. I love you. And I had a student come up to me on Wednesday last week, and they were like, you're really cool, but John scares me. I was like, he's what? Why? I don't know.
John's not scary at all, I don't think.
I don't feel like he's scary, but maybe that's more about us, Jesse, than it is about
Maybe being an adult, he's not as scary. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're really fun. We like to have fun.
They are.
Okay, Jesse.
I guess worship pastors, there's a myth that they only work on Sundays. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. Adam hardly even works on Sundays. So, no, for real though, he does. He puts a lot of effort and energy into his job. I just thought that would be pretty funny.
No, that was pretty.
It was. That was a good one. That was a good one.
By the way, nice job. You didn't drop the mic.
Oh yeah,
which is
Jared warned me that I couldn't do any mic drops. I'm sorry, audience. It's Jared's fault.
Yeah, let's blame Jared. Okay, common myth or assumption about you and your spouse that you want to debunk. Well, I can't say that green beans, roundabouts, or Costco are myths. Those are true.
Those are totally true.
Those are 100% true. I don't even think I know this. What would be? Oh, I kind of go with what you said earlier. Like if I was being serious, is that sometimes people think we have it together, and we really do not. I think we are a hot mess lots of the time, but we're trying to figure it out. And yeah. Does that count? Is that fair? Okay, awesome.
You get 3 points.
3 points. How much were the others worth, though? That's what I want to know. If they were worth more, now I'm going to feel like a big loser. But
You're the only one that has points so far.
Oh, hey, good. I'm winning. I do like to win. Okay, so what is a place of advice? No, not a place.
Peace.
It's like I can read, but I can't. I teach for a living.
You should be able to spell.
You should definitely trust your students learning with me. Okay, so what is a piece of advice that you would give to yourself before the pandemic?
Buy toilet paper. Mm-hmm. I now have a supply cabinet.
Good kind too.
Literally, like I kind of went a little crazy, and I went to Costco, and I was like, all the paper goods and all the cans.
Are you the reason there's a shortage?
No, because I only got my one case.
Each time you went? Yeah. Did you go every day?
I mean, I sent my mom.
Did each child buy one? That's what I want to know at the same time.
I should have charged them for each square. Then I could have bought more toilet paper.
25 cents a square?
Yes. No, but realistically, I think really the pandemic has told us, slow down. Like we had so much family time, albeit not always great, being stuck at home with 3 small children. Thankfully, God gave us a big backyard and a nice house. But we enjoyed a lot of family time. We went camping. We did crazy stuff in the house, like activities. I mean, some of you follow me on Facebook. You've seen my activities. You got to do something when you're stuck at home and your kids aren't going to school. So
I feel judged.
Me too.
I didn't decide the no school thing. I'm just saying.
I know.
I just want to throw that out there. Jesse.
I don't know because it was really hard.
Yes, it
The
was.
remote learning while I'm working full time and Adam's working 1 day a week, it was just too much to handle.
Just turn that knife a little bit more.
No, I mean, really, it was hard. So I don't know what advice I would have for myself because I still can't figure out how to have made that piece better. I guess maybe our routines could have been better. Routines would have been just better. I don't really know.
Structuring your day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to structure when I'm going around my work schedule and their Zoom call schedule and So I'm glad it's over with. I knock on wood.
I thought.
Jinx us, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm so sorry.
You're
No.
totally fine. I didn't feel jinxed. I just thought you were knocking on the door. No. So what would I have told myself before the pandemic? If I knew the pandemic was coming, I would have made a hair appointment like right at the last minute, right? Like I would have.
Yes.
Because that was a problem for a little bit. And I too was in the toilet paper dilemma. Like there was a couple days of real panic there, but then somebody, I think Barry preached about it, didn't he? Like from the pulpit, he said something about we were getting low and somebody gave us one of their like 6-packs or
nice.
12-packs or something. And I was like, oh, praise God. That's maybe how the church, well, man, I should have said that before, a memorable moment about church. So we had the toilet paper show up and then I was like, okay, we can get through until we get more, like
No napkins or paper towels.
woo, like, it's a miracle. Yeah, probably I also would have told myself, quit your job.
Oof.
No, I probably would have told myself that. And I probably wouldn't have done it, but I would have liked to have told myself that because it was really not fun this last year. So anyway, but yeah.
Can I just say though, like you are so good at what you do. And
For real.
There are so many kids that I know that you have loved and gotten through, one, because of your faith, but two, just because of your love of kids and your love of your job.
And the reassurance that you at least have provided me as a parent of a kid that was struggling with transitioning with the move and all that kind of stuff. That was difficult. And having you there to talk to and to help guide and be a set of eyes for me just was amazing. So yes, you are amazing at your job.
You are priceless to Yolanda.
Yep.
We love you.
Is Yolanda watching? Maybe. Yeah, no, it's
You need more than Yolanda to watch. You need the district.
Oh gosh, I don't want the district watching because they'd be like, "Oh, what can we give you more to do?"
Yeah,
no,
probably.
thank you. Okay, so I think that is about our last question. Unless there's a fun fact that you just want to share, without your husband's, like maybe. The question
I
could
got
be like,
one.
What advice did your spouse give you?
We've all, no, not advice, but I have something funny about John. So we've all seen Barry's dance moves,
Oh, holy
right?
guacamole!
The
yes.
green bean dance. We've seen him, some other things.
He's got a lot of moves.
Okay, so John's going to kill me.
Oh, Lord.
There are two moves that John has. One, we were younger, and he had these like T-Rex dance.
John.
And then he does this. He puts his guns out.
Yes.
Oh my stars! I
We
want
need to see
that
this.
so bad.
We should have a dancing competition between Barry and John.
And Adam.
Adam.
Adam can raise the roof like nobody's business.
Is
That was
because
like
he's
so
tall, or-
1990.
I mean, it was like, 2000 about? It was 2004.
Okay, so he's more current than the other two.
All right, next BTS. That's what I expect.
Is a dance
It's
off?
a dance off.
Jared, can we make that happen? a dance
We will
off.
make that happen.
So I mean, that is one reason right there to subscribe or turn, your alarms on.
Notifications.
Totally. You don't want to miss
it.
that. Yeah. No, it could be fun. Well, that's all we have for you for this time, but hope you've enjoyed getting to know the three of us a little bit better, and hopefully it wasn't all serious, but somewhat unserious. And until next time, take care.
Bye, Northwood.
Bye.